Straddling the continents of Europe and Asia, Turkey has always been more than just a country. It is a story of civilizations, of empires, and of epochs. With its rich history and vibrant culture, it has, over the years, seamlessly bridged ancient traditions and modern aspirations. Once the heart of the formidable Ottoman Empire and later reborn as a republic under Mustafa Kemal Ataturk's visionary leadership, Turkey has always demonstrated a unique ability to reinvent itself. Today, while it continues to be a significant geopolitical player, it is facing one of its most challenging economic periods characterized by the sharp decline of the Turkish lira. 20 years ago, Turkey shimmered as a beacon of economic promise. Driven by structural reforms and cautious monetary strategies, the country experienced unprecedented growth. The Turkish lira was formidable, reflecting the nation's optimistic spirit, bolstered by the influx of foreign investments. A nation on the rise, its economy promised opportunities and dreams to both its citizens and international stakeholders. However, the tapestry of time reveals patterns of both peaks and valleys. The present paints a contrasting image to the golden era of just 2 decades ago. The robust lira has faltered, tumbling to unparalleled lows. This decline was not abrupt but evolved due to a blend of internal vulnerabilities and external economic pressures. The increasing strength of the US dollar and escalating global interest rates challenged many emerging economies, including Turkey. Domestically, Turkey's increasing current account deficit, coupled with surging inflation rates and an overdependence on foreign capital for growth, made the country susceptible to international financial shifts. The ramifications of the lira's decline have permeated every corner of Turkish society. For ordinary citizens, dreams of a prosperous future, once vivid and achievable, are now interspersed with moments of economic anxiety. As the lira plummeted, imported goods, often seen as staples in Turkish households, became more expensive. Families found themselves recalibrating their monthly budgets, sacrificing luxuries, and often essentials, to make ends meet. Many who had loans or mortgages pegged to foreign currencies witnessed their debts swell overnight. Such situations echoed the personal tragedies of many, struggling under the weight of financial obligations they could no longer afford. Young professionals and students, once hopeful about building their lives in a booming Turkish economy, faced new uncertainties. Graduates entered a job market rife with instability, and some even contemplated seeking opportunities abroad, adding to the brain drain that countries in economic crises often face. The entrepreneurs, once lauded as the backbone of Turkey's modern economic success, found themselves contending with increasing operational costs, plummeting consumer confidence, and an environment not conducive to innovation or expansion. The Turkish government, recognizing the depth of the crisis, initiated a series of interventions. Apart from the monetary policy changes, they sought to stimulate domestic production and reduce dependency on imports, aiming to rectify the current account deficit. Investment in local industries was encouraged through tax incentives and subsidies, hoping to create a more self-reliant economy. Furthermore, to curb the runaway inflation, strict price monitoring mechanisms were put in place, and businesses were urged not to engage in opportunistic pricing. Trade partnerships were also revisited, with Turkey looking to diversify its trade allies to reduce dependency on any single major economy. However, every action has its consequence. As the government tightened its economic controls, some investors grew wary, perceiving these interventions as signs of increasing state interference in free markets. The challenge for Turkey was, and remains, twofold: ensuring immediate economic stability while restoring long-term investor confidence. Balancing these immediate needs with long-term aspirations is a tightrope walk, but one Turkey must master to ensure a brighter economic future for its citizens. Responsibility for this crisis is multifaceted. While external pressures played a role, domestic policies and practices cannot be absolved. Tracing the crisis's evolution is critical to understanding the magnitude of economic tremors that besieged Turkey. Attributing the economic downturn to purely external factors would be an oversimplification. True, global economic fluctuations, especially the strengthening of the US dollar, created an environment where emerging markets like Turkey were vulnerable. However, the internal economic dynamics and policy choices shaped how the country responded to and weathered these external forces. Many analysts have argued that the crux of the problem lay within Turkey's own economic strategies. A burgeoning current account deficit and a constant reliance on foreign short-term debt to fund longer-term projects exposed the nation's underlying fragilities. When international investors began to pull back, driven by concerns over Turkey's ability to service its external debt, the impact was immediate and profound. Furthermore, Turkey's domestic economic policies in the preceding years inadvertently compounded these challenges. The nation's financial system, often buoyed by aggressive lending and optimistic growth projections, was not as resilient as once believed. High growth targets, championed by the government, were pursued with fervor but often without the necessary safeguards in place. This bullish economic approach, while initially resulting in commendable growth rates, failed to account for potential downturns in the global economic landscape. As such, when the tides turned, the vulnerabilities in the Turkish economy, previously masked by rapid growth, became glaringly apparent. The socio-political landscape of Turkey also played its part in the crisis. Periodic political uncertainties, changes in key government positions, and perceptions of reduced independence of institutions, especially the central bank, led to declining investor confidence. A perceived erosion of checks and balances, coupled with concerns about governance and transparency, exacerbated the situation. While Turkey's economic fundamentals were indeed strong in many areas, the complex interplay of domestic policy, political decisions, and external pressures culminated in the crisis. As is often the case with economic downturns, it wasn't just one factor but a concatenation of events and decisions that led to the tumult. Facing such adversity, Turkey's government made strenuous attempts to stabilize the lira. The Central Bank of Turkey, raising interest rates, sought to bolster the currency. Fiscal policies were realigned to tackle inflation and mitigate the current account deficit. Yet, these endeavors ignited debates concerning the central bank's independence and raised eyebrows over the government's economic strategies. To counter the looming economic storm, the government unveiled a set of austerity measures. These involved notable cuts in public spending, particularly in sectors like public services and infrastructure. Moreover, taxes were increased, further burdening the citizens and businesses. Such measures, albeit necessary from an economic standpoint, began to strain the social fabric of Turkey. Public services faced the immediate brunt. Healthcare, education, and infrastructure projects faced financial crunches, leading to visible deteriorations in their quality and delivery. These economic constraints were felt by every Turkish citizen. From the common man grappling with increased living expenses due to rising taxes and inflation, to small business owners battling reduced consumer spending and escalating operational costs, the challenges were omnipresent. This widespread discontent eventually manifested in protests across the country, spotlighting the deteriorating living standards of its people. Reacting to the civil unrest, the government's measures varied. They aimed for fiscal discipline while also acknowledging the need to address the societal impacts of their decisions. Certain relief programs were initiated, targeting the most vulnerable sections. The effectiveness of such initiatives, however, remained debated, as numerous citizens continued to face hardships. Behind every economic number lies a human story. The common Turkish worker, the small business owner, and the family, each had tales of challenges, of hopes dashed, and dreams deferred. Yet, their resilience in confronting these adversities has been emblematic of the Turkish spirit, a testament to human perseverance. As we reflect on Turkey's current economic challenges, it's crucial to recognize its inherent strengths. With its strategic geographical position, rich cultural legacy, and a history replete with lessons of resilience and renewal, Turkey has the potential to transform this crisis into an opportunity. The road ahead may be riddled with uncertainties, but if history serves as a guide, nations often emerge from adversities with renewed strength and vision. In conclusion, Turkey's current economic situation offers a poignant reminder of the cyclical nature of economies and the unyielding spirit of nations. Just as the challenges of today trace back to events and decisions of the past, the choices made today will shape the future. In this global narrative, may Turkey's journey serve as a lesson and an inspiration, reminding us all of the ebb and flow of economic fortunes and the enduring human spirit that navigates them. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful or enjoyable, please give it a thumbs up. To stay updated with our latest content, make sure to hit the subscribe button and activate the notification bell. Your support is truly appreciated. See you in the next video.